Miss Carla. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mr. Lewis. I'm here with Miss Carla. Miss Carla, how you doing?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing all right. And y'all know I don't have COVID. I'm by myself in the basement. I'm practicing social distancing. That's why I'm staying away from you niggas. Psych. How y'all doing? So, Miss Carla, what do you want to talk about today?
Everything. Anything and everything. Anything and
All right.
everything.
All right. Today's show is brought to you by Second Missionary Baptist Church's motherboard. They having a building fun um, thing next week at Golden Gate Field. They want everybody to go. It's gambling night at the casino, at the racetrack. Y'all go out there and support them. It's about the 58th time that they done tried to raise enough money for the church. Don't quite work out. That's what happened when you have a gambling night. But anyway, that's who we are brought to you by tonight. Miss Carla, let's go.
All right. I just want to say hello to everyone. It's been a minute since we have been on live with you all. Hello, Mrs. Hello, Allison. You are here under Elegant Layers. Hello, Elegant Layers. Give it up for Elegant Layers. They are here tonight. Good
Hey.
evening, everyone. If y'all don't mind me, I got to share this real quick. Give me 1 second. I got to share. I got to share. If I can find the thing, Facebook always changes stuff. Hey, Christy. All right, we got people coming on and say hello. Come on in and say hello. Let us know that you are watching so that we could properly greet you and say hello before we get this conversation started. All right. Come on. Say
Right,
hello.
right.
Don't be afraid. We gonna speak back. Like for real. We are gonna speak back. But yeah,
She's stalling y'all. She need her glasses.
I can't share. I was trying to share the live. It won't let me, Facebook be tripping sometimes. It don't let me share what I want to share. But yeah,
Gotcha.
we've done a few shows. I remember our very first show where we were talking about 1 year later. Um, It was 1 year later after the passing of my mom. I remember us talking
Mhm.
about that. We've done Funeral Chronicles.
Correct.
That was a decent one.
That was fun.
We've done the church then versus now.
Right.
That was a good one. But I have uh well, let me start off by saying this. So today marks 5 years from when my son saw found Bammy in the condition that she was in and basically saved her life by, doing what he did. That was
Right,
five
right.
years ago today. 5 years ago yesterday was the last time I saw my mother walk. And I was just like, wow,
Wow.
it's been 5 years. So,
Time flies. Time
huh?
flies. I said time flies. It
I mean, that flew by super fast,
it
man.
it, it
But
flies. It
yeah, so
flies.
since the last time we actually did a live together, we done been to a few funerals. I know you have. That's all you do every day. You are Mr. Funeral Man himself.
I try to be. I
Um,
try to be.
for me, I've done some funerals. I've
Right.
live streamed some funerals. I didn't want to be on Elegant Layer, so hello again. Hey, Allison. Um, so we could start off a little bit talking about, some of the stuff that we've dealt with or seen at some of the funerals since we last had a conversation.
Well, I see something new every day, so um, you might want to go first, and I'll piggyback off you because that'll be the whole show talking about one funeral.
Well, I mean, we still have people getting up, of course. When they say 2 minutes,
Correct.
that don't even exist. I'm like, maybe we just need to take that out. Maybe they need to just tell the families, look, there's no more 2 minute remarks. Pick your people, maybe 6 to 8 people, and that's it. That's
Correct.
the limit. I'm
Correct.
just kidding.
Correct.
Um, you got people getting up at the funeral saying, "Oh yeah, I know what you're going through." I'll say this: I was at a funeral, and the person that got up and talked, they said, "I know that's your mama laying over there, you know, but y'all can't be crying up in here. It don't make no sense for y'all to be crying. She wouldn't want y'all to cry. So y'all stop all that crying and let's celebrate." I'm like, I get what you're saying, but that ain't your mama,
Right. Right.
So I think there really still needs to be a class on etiquette when you're attending a
It,
funeral, what to say and what not to say.
it does. And the other part of that is you must understand that, like for me, if you can go home and talk to your mother, I don't care if she's asleep. If you can open her bedroom door or if you can pick up the phone and call her, there is no way in hell that you know what somebody else is going through.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Mm-hmm.
empathize and say, I can imagine how I would feel in a situation like that because I am close to my mother. But you can't say that you know how they feel because you don't. And everybody is different. Some people don't, they weren't speaking to their mother when their mother passed, or their mother wasn't speaking to them, maybe with good reason. You just, you never know. But I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. That's the door creaking. Don't worry about
Oh,
it.
oh my goodness.
I'm not at the funeral home. That was the door. That
And
was the
then in
door.
the comments, we see Allison said, "Don't tell me I can't cry." Don't tell people not to cry. Hey,
You know
Dreer,
what? If
tell
if
people,
you
yeah,
if
go
you
ahead.
need to cry, cry. If you need to cry today, cry. If you need to cry tomorrow, hell, if you need to cry once a day, just cry.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, don't tell people that. Um, it's don't tell people not to cry. Don't tell people you're gonna be there for them and you're not. Just don't.
I'm just a
Just
phone call away. Just
yeah,
call
no,
me.
you're
Why
not.
you can't call them? Why they got to call you? You know?
And you don't even pay your phone bill, so I can't call you because the last 8 times I done called you, your phone was off, and that's been like 8 times in the last 3 weeks. So you don't even pay your bill. I'm not calling
Right.
you.
Right.
But in all seriousness, you know, yeah, don't yeah, just call me. No, no, pick up the phone and call them. If you don't want to talk to them, send them a text message,
Right.
send an
And
email.
one thing I like about a friend of mine's on here is um, Reverend Dwayne Dreer. He's on here, and he's a good friend of mine's. And one thing I really admire about him, I could tell him that I'm going through something, or he could just hear it in my voice, just like you can, and he'll just start praying for me. I love it. Let's bow in the word of prayer over the phone.
It-
That's what that's what true friends do. You know what I
especially when
mean?
they when you know their prayer is sincere.
Right, right,
You know, because they
right,
don't necessarily people don't need to know what you're going, and this is for those of you who will say, well, I don't know what to pray for. You pray for whatever they're going through. You don't need to know exactly what they're going through. If they're in distress and you see it, pray for them and just pray that the stress that they're under either goes away completely or subsides. uh,
right,
you're never going to get over. To get over something means that you've passed it. You're never going to get over it. But what you can do with help, with God and with prayer and family and friends, you can get through it. And through it means that I can get up every day, I can go to work, I can have a little bit of fun, I can have some normalcy in my life, but this is still here. And when I want to grieve, I can. Don't tell people to get over it. You get over
right,
dropping ice cream on the floor because you can go in the kitchen and get some more, go to the store, etc. You don't get over somebody passing. And if you do, I don't know that I want to be around you because if you claim to love that person like that and you can get over it that fast, yeah, I'm looking at you sideways. I am.
right, 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 right. You are exactly
You
right.
sound like
And
Eric and Lyle Menendez. Hey, let's have a party.
right, right. So how are you guys doing at the funeral home? Is it busy? Is it? slow? Is it, you know?
We're getting busy again, and it's not COVID. People are just they're passing away. James Cleveland said people are standing on the banks of the Jordan, watching the ship of Zion go sailing over, and I mean, they are. People are leaving. They're leaving left and right, and so as some of you people who are listening know, you have upticks. You have times where it's kind of slow and there's not much going on, and then there's times where you're just getting slammed. And every day or every other day or 7 out of 8 days there are funerals, and that's what we're looking at right now. And we're just pushing through, just like everybody else.
Okay, we have a couple of comments. Allison said, and don't ask me if I'm okay. No, I'm not okay. And then we have David Jones that says, I'm not over. I'm not over with my nephew passing away. I have my moments. Hey, I get it. I understand. I have cut so many people off
Hmm.
for telling
Yep.
me, "Oh, your mom passed a year ago. You should be over that by now." Excuse me. We
No.
spoke in an unknown language.
Hey, and to
Ooh,
the and I'm gonna speak on that in just a second. To the young lady's point, and Mr. Jones, it is okay not to be okay. If you want to start being okay, recognize the fact that you aren't okay. Deal with it. Doesn't mean wallow in it. Doesn't mean just don't ever not do anything,
right.
but be in the moment. Again, if you need to cry 3 times a day, go ahead and cry. There's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that. If you feel down, don't put on a face or a facade for everybody else. Don't do it.
Right.
You may not
Right.
want to walk around down in the dumps, but it's okay not to be okay.
Right.
To some of you, and to those of you who spoke directly to Miss Carla and said it's been a year, um, that would probably be okay if she only spent a year with her. You spend 40, 50 plus years with anybody, that's not going to be the easiest thing to separate yourself. Number two, if you had talked to her on a regular basis while she was going through that, you would know that it's going to take forever and a day for her or anyone else to get over it. And again, if you have not lost, not even just a parent, if you've never lost anybody close to you, God bless you, but don't tell somebody who has how to deal, because you can't. You can't tell Steph Curry how to play basketball. You can't tell a great preacher how to preach. You can't tell somebody who studies the word about the Bible. So why do you feel comfortable telling somebody how to grieve, when to grieve, where to grieve, etc.? Don't do that, because when it's your turn, you are not going to want to hear what you've been telling everybody else. You might be the one on the floor, balled up in the fetal position, thumb in your mouth, blanket over you. And yeah, I'll probably laugh at you, but it's because of what you told everybody else. So, if it when it's your turn, and it will be your turn, you're gonna get a turn to sleep in to sit in that front row at the funeral home or at the church. Remember what you said.
Right. I mean, remember how you've been there for somebody else, because it's amazing. I've always been there for people, like a lot of my
Mhm.
closest friends. I've always been there for them, whether it's death, if it's whatever. I've always been there. And it's amazing that a whole year later, they're not even there for me. And I'm
And
really trying not to be, I always ask the Lord to not let bitterness take root.
right,
You know what I mean? Because
absolutely,
I've been pissed. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been pissed because while my mother was sick, while my mother was transitioning, and after my mother passed, I've helped so many people. Time I could have been with her, I'm helping you.
absolutely. I know.
And
I know.
now they can't even answer the phone when I call. So guess what? I don't call no more.
Mm-mm.
and they don't call me. And it's just like, okay, I get it. I mean, I posted a Facebook post a while back and it said, I get it. I get it now. I get it. I get it. And that's all right. I get it now. So we got people with the comments going. But yeah. So another thing is, because we don't want y'all to think this is talking about grief and death and all that. Hey Teresa, my sister's on here. I see
Miss
Pastor Donnell
Teresa.
Thomas is on. Pastor Donnell Thomas is on here. I see
Pastor Thomas.
Angela, my big sister's on here. Yeah. Um, Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a while since we've been on here, but we wanted to come on and just have a general conversation because our next show is going to be awesome. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. And we'll talk more about that before this show ends. We have people saying hello to you, Mr. Lewis. Can you see? You can't see your comments, right?
No, I probably don't want to see him. It might be tax collectors, credit card people, somebody, baby daddy trying to get at me, So,
Oh
it
my
might be
God.
my parole officer. If it's my parole officer, tell him, I'm not here. Tell him I'm still in Tennessee.
You are too funny. All right. And then so the next thing, y'all know, since I am I go to church,
You
I don't
do?
know about Mr. Lewis. I
You
don't
go to
know what
church?
he do. I don't know what he do on Sundays, but I'm in church every Sunday, right? And so for those of y'all that's on here, if y'all in church, comment that you in church on Sunday and what your church is. Because for the ones that don't comment, I want to know where you at on Sunday, why you not in church. You go everywhere else.
Mm.
Where y'all at on Sundays? I don't see y'all. What y'all doing? Y'all be at the fair. Y'all be in Vegas. Y'all been on cruises. Where y'all at on Sundays? I want to go on a cruise, but I
Now,
can't
see,
go on a cruise because I got to be at church on Sunday.
now, Miss Carla, see, you are the first person that I have known from the city of San Francisco who actually goes to church every Sunday. I am
Whatever.
amazed. You know what? Kudos to you. You are making San Francisco better. I don't even have to wipe the bottom of my shoes no more when I come back from over there. Congratulations.
All right. See, we got people commenting saying what church they go to on Sundays. This is what I'm talking about. See, and then I will say this. Um, if you are doing media like I am, if you're doing media like I am, kudos to you. Shout out to you because doing media is not easy.
No.
And for those people who sit back and criticize the media team or what they don't see, I'm pray for you. I'm pray for you. I'm gonna pray
Uh,
for you because
I,
it's not easy doing media on Sundays. And I'm telling y'all, I haven't missed a beat. I have not even before the pandemic. I have not missed a beat. I promise you, if my pastor was on here,
so
he'd
I
tell
got
you I ain't missed a beat.
uh-huh.
What? What you say? Huh?
Now, I have I have a comment. I have a comment. I'm not talking to anybody in particular. Since we're talking about church and Sunday. A lot of the
Uh-oh.
pastors want their members to tithe.
Uh-oh.
And that's between you and your members. Because they need to pay, to help with the church and get a percent. Okay. But on behalf of everybody who does media, pay them damn people when you use their services. Stop making them wait. You get paid. You doing stuff during the week. You're going to this church and that church. You're driving around in a nice car. I know you got $200, $300, $400. Pay the people. I don't care if they're drummers, guitarists, if they cry, like the Wailers and doing all that. I don't care. If you pay them, if you use their service, pay them and pay them on time. Not 2 weeks late, not 7 weeks late, not when they got to threaten to cut you off the channel. Pay them immediately. Praise God. Back to you, sister.
Oh man. So, I had mentioned that, I've been doing funerals and stuff like that. And I did a funeral at this one church, and when I tell you them ushers was rude. Oh, oh my God. And then they talked the entire time. Like, y'all don't see this camera right here? My son is a witness. We got them on tape. They talked the entire funeral.
Well, you know why that happened? I just
Why?
told you, people in San Francisco are not used to going to church. They don't know how to act in church. It don't happen in Oakland.
Oh, please.
Don't happen in Oakland. The
What
ushers in
church?
Oakland, the ushers in Oakland are 127 years old and can't talk, but they can still walk. So we don't do that in Oakland. We don't. 127, 180, 163, but they can still walk. They can still walk. Now they use a walker and a cane when they're on the street, but in their church, they walk up and down that aisle like they're 30 years old. They don't do that in Oakland. They don't.
With the nurse uniform on and don't
Shout
have
out to
a
my shout
degree.
out to my 137-year-old ushers who done had the same gloves since 1964. You was wearing them when Mahalia Jackson came to your church. I
You are
remember.
crazy. I can't stand you.
I remember. I remember. They just turn around and do this.
No sense whatsoever. None. No sense whatsoever.
No, see, we don't do that in Oakland. We don't. We don't. You got some of the ushers that done already passed, and they still ushering at the church.
I can't stand you.
They still ushering. They still. I buried some of them. They been gone, and they still come back on Sunday and usher. One hand behind their back. Still marching the "We Are Soldiers in God's Army."
Right. I can't stand you either. You are a nut. You are a nut.
Song so old, the people who sang it don't even remember the words no more.
Oh my God.
But they march, and they march, honey. Shout out to my ushers out there.
I cannot stand you. While we talk, since you talked about some ushers being dead, quick commercial. I got a couple of people who he said ushers serve until they die. Right.
Yep. We got to stand no matter what the cost.
He said they die, they multiply.
Hey, I did a funeral for an usher. The usher at her own funeral. She was the first one to view herself. I ushered the ushers on up. She said, "Let me go first." Got out the casket, walked up there, and jumped back in so everybody could see it.
Oh God. So there's a couple of people, if you guys don't have life insurance, that I want to shout out. There's Sheila Tyson. Look her up on Facebook. All right. And then there is Davina Brown. I have her card right here. Look her up on Facebook. If y'all need life insurance, get some life insurance, because GoFundMe is not the way to go. All right. Because they're going to take a piece of the chunk of money before you get yours. So why not pay that little piece of money every month so you can have your life insurance? So when something happened to you, because we all gonna go, we just don't know when we going, but we all gonna go one day, right? Right. So, all right. So the next thing we gonna talk about is live streaming. If your church live stream, shout out to your church if you live stream. Hey,
Baptist Church.
But guess what? Somebody said, we are not selling no chicken dinners or washing cars to have a funeral for you. Mm-hmm. Well, all right. So
the name of it is GoFundMe. Who the hell is me? It's not called GoFund You. Where do you think that money is going? Not to you.
All right. So another thing that we could talk about is, we live streaming on Sundays. That's good. We reaching the folks that can't come to church, that don't want to come to church, or people that's, bed bound, homebound, can't get to church. Right. And I kind of think that the focus is like off now. I think the focus is being lost. Like the purpose of the live stream, right, is to reach the people, right? To
Correct.
grow your ministry, right? So you got people who are um concerned about the views. You know how when you live, like we're live right now, and I can see how many people's watching and all that, right? Shouldn't be your concern. That shouldn't be your concern about the how many. I mean, yeah, you want people to watch. You do want people to watch, but if every member who has their cell phone out because they're gonna have it out while they're in church
Right.
anyways, right?
Right.
So just have a moment in church. And I said this when I was in Sacramento the other week teaching the pastors at the district association. Your members already got their phones out in church, right?
Right.
So have a period where they share the live. All right, everybody get your phones out. Let's share the live, right? So if
Hmm.
everybody in the church that got a Facebook pull their phone out and share the live, it's shared, right? More people gonna come on and peek and see what's going on, right? But what's going on now in this day and time is something that really disturbs my heart. You
Hold on.
got people with fake views.
Wait. Hold on. You're going to have to put an age limit on that sharing the phone thing. Because when Granny pick up her phone and you take her all church service, I can't find Facebook. Take the phone, put the phone down. Put the phone down. That's why you shouldn't have no phone in the first place. You 87 years old, you got paratransit outside. We'll call them for you. Put your phone in your purse. You don't drive no more.
Oh my God.
You know they're gonna take 25 minutes. I got to find Facebook. I found somebody. No, don't worry about sharing it. Don't worry about it, Grandma. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep looking in that Bible you got in 1843. It's okay.
Well, I guess the pastor has to be specific about if you have a Facebook account, if you have a smartphone, get your phone out and go to your Facebook page and share the live. That way your views can. So now you got people who are, if you go to their Facebook lives, they have like 868 views up there, but only two people commenting. So if you got 868 views, how come only two people commenting?
Everybody else is falling asleep while they watching because you probably
Oh
can't
my
preach.
God. No, there's people selling,
Wow.
and I'm probably gonna get somebody gonna send me something crazy about it. I don't care. Uh, Allison and Greg could get them for me. Yeah.
They're
No,
selling,
I'm
they're
just
selling
like
Facebook views
selling fake face Facebook views
to make it look like a lot of
to
people are
make it
watching.
look like a lot of people's watching, and that really bothers me because they're going around trying to sell it to the other pastors so they could have. But why? For what?
Do you profit from it is the question.
I guess whoever's selling it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's this is sad. It's sad. I'm
Lipstick on a
like,
pig. Okay.
yeah, yep. You would be surprised who
Okay.
it is that actually has fake views. Pastor Wheelock on here starting trouble, but there's a lot of pastors who have that. Um, and then there's it's sad. I'll just say that it's sad. I think the whole focus is off. Yes, we want to reach those who don't know the Lord Jesus Christ is their personal savior, and we want to reach our parishioners and all that type of stuff, our church members, our cousins and all that. But like I said, if everybody would just take their phone out and share in the church, you wouldn't have to get the fake views up there.
Correct.
And then if people would just share, because it costs nothing to share. I say that every week when I'm doing my little jewelry show. Just share the live. You ain't even got to spend $5. Just share it. You don't have to spend your $5 plus tax and shipping. Share. Just share the video.
Right.
It costs you nothing. Someone said, okay, but who is actually in the church? It's 5 members inside and 800 online. Wow.
Some
And
of
that's
you,
true.
and some of them
What's the
don't know
purpose of
800
fake?
people.
What's the purpose of the fake view? What do you gain if it's fake? Well, it makes it look like you're popular and that you have all these people watching your broadcasts. That's what it makes. I mean, okay, there's a popular pastor, a bishop, excuse me, out in Indianapolis. I watch them every Sunday. That's my early morning, 5:30 a.m. I watch. I could see the numbers going up. I could see all the comments and I could see how many people sharing it. That's real stuff.
Right.
That's real. I'm watching it as it move. Fake views, if you go on somebody's page and it's stuck at 868, when you come on, it says 868. It's supposed to change to 869 because you just got on there, right? It's just stuck. It's fake. That's fake views. I think it's just sad. I think the whole focus is just off. I think it's just off. The pandemic to me has not taught some people, I'm not saying all, but it has not taught some people a lesson yet. And
No,
I
it
honestly
hasn't.
believe this thing ain't going nowhere until everybody, or mostly everybody, or everybody who's supposed to be tapping into what they supposed to tap into. Everybody's not tapping into it. They forgetting it. They forgetting what they're here for and what their purpose is. So that saddens my heart. Do these viewers speak English? Are the viewers just asking for a friend? I don't know. I don't know.
Some of the
I
some of
don't
the
know.
men some of the men in the pulpit barely speak English, so some of the viewers may not either. Oh wait, Ebonic, never mind. Um, yeah, that was too easy. That was way too easy. That was way too easy.
Yeah, and then another thing that bothers me is like I just wish that wait until monkeypox rise. Oh Lord, I don't even want to think about that. I don't even want to think about that. I don't. Oh my God. You know, um, what's I getting ready to say? Oh my Lord. See y'all, I'm getting up there, as my
Getting,
mind is tripping.
getting,
Really? You right
getting,
behind me. You're right
getting it.
behind me. You're right behind me, sir.
Yeah, but see, you already over the cliff. I can see the edge of it. You
Wow.
you you in a full roll down the hill. I mean, you in a slow full roll down the hill. I'm about 200 yards away from the cliff, and I'm walking slow. I'm creeping.
And what my mama used to say, just keep living, baby. Just keep living. I
That's
don't
all
know.
right. I'm gonna keep living and keep being 200 yards away from that cliff.
You are funny. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You guys know I have a lot of pastor friends. A lot of pastor friends. I work with a lot of pastors. I do a lot of work for pastors. And for you members, the members who sit back and criticize, who don't want to help with nothing, I'm gonna pray for y'all. I'm gonna pray for y'all. I see stuff, I hear stuff, I witness stuff, and it's just not right. It's not the pastor's job to do certain things. It's not the pastor's job. And y'all quit being rude to y'all pastors. Y'all quit being rude to y'all pastors and quit being rude to other members and quit running people away. I had someone, I was talking to a young lady I used to go to school with. And she was like, Carly, you still in church? You've been in church all your life. That's all you know. I said, yeah, I'm not going. Well, I used to go to church, but this person did. Okay, then find you a new church. Go to a different church. Don't
Right,
stop serving God because of what somebody did at that church, because in actuality, there is no perfect church because
right,
there's no perfect person. But I get it. If you're a part of a ministry where you think you're gonna lay some unholy hands, then go somewhere else.
right,
But just don't stop serving God because of what somebody did. Like, go somewhere else. A lot of people say, I don't go to church because I was hurt in the church. Okay, well, you get hurt at work. Your boss be saying crazy stuff to you, but you still go to church. You still go to work and get that check, don't you?
Shit, I got workers comp. I made up a damn injury. I've been injured for the last 27 years. I can't go nowhere because they following me, but you know.
You are a mess.
But you're right. And then on the flip side, I would tell the pastors, please remember that you too are human, just like we are. Um, don't talk down to anybody. I know you get frustrated. We all do. I understand that. But the same people that you step on the way up, you will look them in their eye on the way back down. And it's not always people dragging you down. You you went up a ladder that didn't have all the rungs on it, and you slipped and you just went all the way back down that 150-foot ladder. So Miss Carla is right. You know, for the Christians who are not clergy members, uh, stay grounded in the faith for yourself, not for pastor or man or bishop, etc. But on the other end, clergy, let's, you know, I'm not a member of the cloth. I'm glad. Y'all
Not
should be too.
yet. Not yet. Not yet.
No,
Not yet.
no,
Not
no.
yet.
Be quiet,
Not
evangelist.
not yet.
Anyway, uh, be quiet, evangelist.
Please.
Um,
Not me.
but in all seriousness, you know, let's bridge that gap and let's use this pandemic as a stepping stone for both sides. Yes, you are human. Some of you have been inflicted uh, with the virus, and I mean, it can happen, um, or I should say, affected by the virus, but it can happen to anybody. Cancer, stroke, heart attack. You lose people just like we do. So let's bridge that gap and let's gain a better understanding of one another and work together, since we are all trying to get to the kingdom. Well, at least y'all are trying. I know I'm going, but
You're gonna have a little house outside the gate watching all of us go in.
yeah, I know where I'm gonna be. I don't know about y'all. Yeah, I don't know what they do at y'all church, but you know where I am. It's for me in my house.
Your little wooden house.
Pure hate, pure hate.
your your he shed.
Yeah, y'all hating. That's all right.
Your he shed.
This little
As for
light
me
of
and my
mine,
he shed.
I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, don't hate on my shed. Don't hate.
You and your he shed.
Abraham built this for me.
Wow, I believe it.
Abraham and Noah. They was over
I
there chilling
believe
one
it.
day, and I asked him to build me a shed real quick. He didn't want to, but I was like, "You built the ark. I mean, just a little shed. You hook me up." So he did. Holler at his boy.
So what'd you bring in? You brought two of every animal in, or what you got in there?
30 cans of malt liquor, a Lou Rawls album, and some women from East 14, just to keep me
Yep.
company.
He's sitting in his he shed. Yes, he is, Allison. His he shed.
Mm-hmm. This ain't my he shed. This is my daddy's shed.
That's your he shed. I love you too, David Evans. Pastor David Evans. So,
Reverend Dr. Episcopal David Evans. How are you, sir? It's about 148 degrees out there in Stockton, ain't it?
Oh man.
Better you than
Well,
me,
I'm so
Doc.
glad it's cold here in the city. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm loving this cold weather because I don't do well in heat. You know, chocolate melts. No comment. Thank you very much. Thank you. Y'all know this is my best friend.
Must not melt in the TL.
Whatever. I don't live in a TL, bro. I do not live in a TL. You know I don't live in no TL. Don't get beat up.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that out loud. My bad. I was choking.
Don't get beat up. Gotta love my best friend. Gotta love him.
Yeah, you know I love you too, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I love you like crackheads love the first, baby.
Can't stand you.
Love you,
I
love
can't
you.
stand you. I cannot stand you.
Hey, hey. What else you got on your mind tonight?
Um, well, we talked about the Facebook, the fake views.
Yeah, we talked about the fake views,
Yeah, that I'm telling you, that really,
the fake eyelashes, and the fake hairlines on the men.
well, I don't wear hey Perkins, look who's on here. Pastor A.L. Perkins is in the house.
Hey, we're going to an A's game next month, Park. We going.
Take your godson.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Why you
Y'all
talking
take
to
y'all.
me? That's his godson too.
I'm saying to both of y'all, y'all take your godson. Bishop Valentine, we already talked about the fake views, sir. You missed it. You missed it. We already talked about the fake Facebook views and how it needs to stop. That is just so like disrespectful. Mr. Brown say disrespected. Yeah, we already talked about that. Um, and then another thing, we all need to learn to support one another.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying it because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm just saying, I mean, because I've always supported people even before I started doing business stuff. But we got to learn to support each other. You know, I'm grateful for everybody that support me with Missy Productions, with my MCP network, which is my streaming, and with Miss C's Blings, which is the jewelry business that I named after my mother. I'm grateful for everybody that support. Some of the main people who said that they will support, I ain't seen them yet. But guess what? I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. But I'm a wise woman. I'm a wise woman. So, I'm gonna be in prayer um for the next few weeks about um what my next move is gonna be. Pastor Evans says, see, Carla accepts Starbucks cards, EBT cards, whatever. I got a swiper right over here. But anyway, but I'm going in all sincerity, I'm going to really be in prayer these next few weeks about what my next move is going to be. Because I don't get the support that I believe I should be getting. Um, and so body wise, my body is beat up. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. My body is beat up from being a caregiver. Body is beat up. Many people don't know. While I was caring for my mom, I fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
I fell down the stairs, but guess what? I continue to care for my mom. I'm not completely healed from that, but guess what? Still going. But my body is beat up. The jobs that I qualify for, if I was to return to corporate America, I can't sit for no 8-hour day. I can't stand for 8 hours. So, you need to tell them pastors who owe you money to pay up also. Oh, pastors. Okay. Well, I've done that, you know. Um, I don't want to really show up at people's churches and be there for offering time. I mean, that's kind of like thuggish and ghetto, and I try to stay on that professional side. Anybody that knows me, I try to stay very professional and everything. But in sincerity, though, I may have to return back to corporate America. And if I have to return back to corporate America, there's some things that I'm just going to have to stop doing. I love going and serving families and reaching, doing my live streaming. If I go back to corporate America, I can't provide that service. Now, that service is not done by me every day because I'm not called to do a funeral every day. But my fear is returning back to work and then a family needs me and I can't be there. That's going to break my heart because that's what I like to do. Right. So, like I said, I'm going to be in prayer, really, for the next few weeks on what I need to do because guess what? Carla has bills. Okay. Missy Productions, it takes money to run Missy Productions. It takes money to run Missy's Blings. So Carla gonna be in prayer because y'all know me. I'm Carla. I'm not gonna do nothing crazy, even though you have some ignorant people out there, and I'm wondering if well, they can't watch because I blocked them. Um I've had to block people. You guys will really be amazed at the type of stuff that comes my way. Offers that come my way, and I'm just like, okay, you know what? I could let my we need to get a husband in the house. Woo. Well, they have to find me first. The Bible says, he that findeth. I'm not going looking, but I am, you know what? You are too funny. Okay, Pastor Perkins said crazy musician makes good money, but media never gets broke off, and they are just as important as music. Amen. Yeah, and I've always tried to keep my prices affordable. Talk about that. I've always tried to keep my prices affordable, be fair across the board. Um, I've even used some of my own personal whatever just so people could have what they need. And yeah, those days have ended. Those days have ended. I just, my prices are about to go up. I'm sorry, but they are.
Hey, everywhere else is going up.
Allison said, and when he comes, I have about 21 questions for him. Wow. Yeah. So,
We're gonna need to
but
be committed.
y'all just be in prayer for a sister because those the people that's really gonna pray. Pray, not Prey.
Oh,
That's really
damn.
pray for the sister. Pray for this sister right here because I'm really, I really don't want to give up what I've worked so hard for. You know, I've worked really hard to do Missy Productions. I still have equipment, believe it or not, that I'm really thinking about selling because, like I said, I got bills. I'm really thinking about selling because it's just sitting here in a box. Because I'm geeky, I if I see something, it's on sale, and when I could do it, I did it, I got it, and it's here, but I'm not using it. I don't have any use for it, but I have it just in case somebody needs it. See, because I'm always thinking about other people. But I've learned in 2022, people don't give two rats behinds about you. So I'm not gonna have a hard heart because of somebody else, but I am wise. I am wise, and I've taken and will continue to take steps back. The Lord is going to direct me in who will get what or who needs what or whatever. But I'm not about to play no more games with nobody else. Y'all hear me? Let's say it one more time for
Right.
the people in the back. I'm not about to play games with nobody else. I'm sorry. I mean, I've been kind long enough. I've kept my prices affordable long enough, and now uh it's time for me to decide if I'm gonna go back to work because I just I'm not gonna struggle no more. I struggled when I lived in the East Bay. I'm not gonna struggle no more. Those days are over. No
Right.
way. Mr. Lewis can attest to that because I was working 16 hours a day. 16 hours a day. I started working 16 hours a day a year after I suffered a stroke. Who does that? Who does
Somebody
that?
from San Francisco.
Somebody who's trying to provide for their children
Correct.
and keep a
Absolutely.
roof over their heads, over
Absolutely.
our heads. That's why I'm so sensitive to the homeless because I get real sensitive when I go through the tent area down there on Martin Luther King, I
Mm-hmm.
get real sensitive to that because I'm like, this could have been us.
Could have been anybody.
This could have been me,
Right.
but I thank God. And so I'm not rich. I don't have anything in there. As you guys know, I have a nonprofit organization that I'm revamping because some things happened with the person who was a part of our team. I've had to make some adjustments. And so once I get all of that readjusted, we're gonna be back out there feeding the homeless. I don't have nothing, but guess what? God blesses those who bless and help others. So, but yeah. So y'all pray for us, sister.
You let me know when you're out there feeding. I'm gonna come out there and get a plate.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Hey,
I'm gonna have one made just for you.
you said what you just say about helping others and blessing others and all that.
I'm gonna have one made just for you.
Who
A
making it?
real nice plate. It's gonna keep you close to home for about 2 days.
I got a cast iron stomach. I ain't worried about it. I eat prunes. I eat prunes for fun.
And then another thing, just you guys be on the lookout for our next show. I don't know a date yet. I do not know a date just yet, but on our next show, on our very next show, my sister who is watching right now, her name is Teresa. Teresa is going to be Teresa's going to be our special guest because she's going to share her story. She has an amazing, like amazing story. You guys don't want to miss it. So when y'all see that flyer go out uh for the next show, her picture's gonna be on there. Our picture's gonna be on there. We're gonna have what the title of the show is. And y'all, I'm telling you, don't miss the amazing story and testimony of my sister. Hopefully, we can get it all in one night. We may have to make it a two-part thing, but you guys do not want to miss our next live. I'm telling you, she has an awesome story. Bring your tissue. Bring your tissue. That's all I gotta say. Bring your tissue. But yeah, so I can't wait for that. But I'm not gonna do all the talking. Miss Lewis, what you got to talk about?
Hey, listen, I do my talking during the day when I'm at the services. What you trying to say?
Oh, actually, at the services. Oh, you talking
Yeah,
about at the funeral services that you
yeah,
do,
yeah, yes, when
like
I'm working.
like
Yes.
when you're working,
Yeah.
like the time we did that funeral together, and the people forgot to get a preacher, and you had to officiate.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember that.
Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my father's house are many mansions.
Wow. I don't remember that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
What's
we were
today?
at
Thursday?
Whittitt. We were at Whittitt. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
remember that.
In
I
East
remember that.
Oakland. Uh-huh.
I do.
They forgot to get a preacher. We was like, okay, where's the preacher? Oh, we don't have one. See, that's why,
Oh,
like, some of us need to we need to put something together. Me and you
no.
and whoever else. We need to put something together to help these
Hold
families.
on. Hold on. Hold on.
What?
Hold on. You just gave me an idea. Preachers, brothers, sisters, when you serve a family, whether they have paid you or not, and they should give you a little something, just token of appreciation, etc. Take your tail to that graveside when that service is over and they go to the cemetery. Yes, I can perform a committal, and I understand that it is pomp and circumstance, but that family wants you there. They need you there to put a bow on everything. If there's an emergency, yes, those of us who work at the funeral home can and will fill in. And I have no problem doing that. But that can't be every time. Because when you do the service of another pastor, all 630 y'all show up at the gravesite. When it's the mother of your church, you will show up at the gravesite. I'm pretty sure you didn't find out that morning that you were doing a service. We try not to take that long at the cemetery, and actually, you can control that. Just go to the gravesite. It's not a good look when you don't show up. I understand if you can't. I understand if it's a last minute thing. But if it's not, be your tail at that cemetery. It's imperative. It's important. How would a director look if they directed the whole service and then sent somebody else to the cemetery? Talk about us like a dog. And maybe you should. But if it's on the flip side, we got to do the same to you. Just remember that.
Right, right. Pastor Perkins is saying, can he come on live and speak to this? Well, I don't know how to invite you this way, sir. Let's see. I don't know how to yeah, I don't know how to. Oh wait, hold on. Let's see.
We
You
don't
got
accept calls from the payphone.
Wait a minute, wait. So what you saying? Pastor Perkins is using a payphone right
Pastor
now?
Perkins is over there at Church's Chicken down the street from his church. He's standing there over there by Golden Gate Donuts. Uh, he using that payphone over there on the corner. The hell you want to call in for? This ain't Donahue.
He said this ain't Donahue. Oh my
Call it. Go
God.
ahead.
Let me see if I can bring Pastor Perkins on. I'm gonna text you this link. Let me see if I can do it. Y'all, excuse me. I'm not being rude. Mr. Lewis, say something to the peoples.
Something to the people. Praise the Lord. But no, to expound upon what I was saying, I'm not getting on pastors. I don't want you to think I am. Um, but I do know that sometimes families are let down by it. And again, if there's an emergency or if you have to go, I completely understand. And I have absolutely no problem filling in for you at the graveside. I honestly don't. But I just want to make sure that you guys know that the family does want to see you there. And also, y'all don't always have to drive. You can ride in the hearse. Nothing's going to happen to you. I understand how you say, I only want to ride in there once, but you're not going to know when you ride in there that time. You might as well sit in the front seat.
Wow.
Bishop Payton. I say that because Bishop Payton to tell me, I said, Bishop, you want to ride with me? I done already told you. I'm not getting in the front seat with you. I'm not getting in that car. The only time I get in there is I'm going to be in the back. I'm not getting there, so don't ask me. So, Perk, next time you see Reverend Payton, tell him that Mr. Lewis from Foucher's Hudson Funeral Home is waiting to take him for a ride in the coach, and he can sit in the front seat. You know I love
Ooh.
you. You know I love you, Bishop.
He gonna get you for blasting him like that. Pastor Perkins, I sent you a link. Did you get it? I don't see you popping up yet, sir. I sent it. I sent it. We got Bishop Greg Valentine on here. Also, pastors that are on here, I will be starting a digital announcement that I'm going to be running every Saturday to invite people to the different churches in the different areas. If you would like for your church to be included, make sure you inbox me your church information. It don't have to be long because all I'm gonna say is if you're in the San Francisco area, if you're in the Stockton area, if you're in the Oakland area or wherever, um, or online, because actually some churches are still just virtual only because they have older members, they're still virtual only. So, and they're okay with that. Um, but yeah, I am starting it's like a digital announcement, and I'll be telling people, where they could visit on Sundays. So if you want to be a part, let me know. It probably won't be ready to go out until September. because this month you might as well say is gone.
Hmm.
And Pastor Perkins, where you at, bruh? I sent you an invite.
Here's a digital something for you. You know that they're opening a Chick-fil-A in Emeryville, right?
I think Bree told me that.
Yeah, yeah, they are. It's confirmed. So
It's drive through
I'm it's where I forgot what that is, but it's in Emeryville. It's in
by
Emeryville.
Best Buy and stuff.
Yeah, in that area. In that area. I mean, Emeryville ain't but big as this shed. So
Okay, so okay, so it says Pastor Wheelock says you could do the commitment, but I know he means committal
yeah.
at the church. And then Bishop Valentine says, did I talk about cameras at the churches? Upgrade the cameras. Well, yeah. I could talk about that. Um, it's very important to um if you can afford it, if it's in the budget, in the budget of the church, upgrade them cameras. Get off them phones, get off those iPads, get you a camera, get you a couple cameras, and quit, you trustees and people, y'all quit telling the pastor y'all ain't got money to do certain things, because you got it. You got it. You got the money. You got the money to get the stuff. Um yeah, quick. And if your pastor is spending his own personal money to buy the stuff for the church, quit giving him a hard time about it. Quit giving him a hard time about it. It's not your money. You didn't buy it. They talk about all the annual days. The ushers, hey, you cannot cancel the ushers annual day. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. They got to march with they black and white on. They got to do that. But
If you can't, I'm telling you right now, if you cancel that Ursha's annual day, the earth and the sea are gonna give up they dead, and they gonna come back to you. You're gonna have a million ushers coming to your church as ghosts and affecting y'all church services. Microphones gonna get knocked over. The communion is gonna be all messed up. Don't you do it. Sister Mary Jackson, who died in 1972, 86, 98, and 2017, is gonna come back and get you. Them ushers, they die about 4 or 5 times. Same ushers.
Bishop Barnes is here. Hello, Bishop Barnes.
Bishop Barnes, how are you, sir?
Nah, the new usher outfit. Listen, I'm not gonna say no names of no churches, but I have been to a church and I did not know they was ushers. I mean, it's nothing wrong with, but it was just a little too much. I was like, oh, okay. We are soldiers in the army. That is the usher
They
song.
didn't, they
And
didn't look
believe it
like
or not,
ushers?
some ushers still march to that during offering time. You better play it during offering time if you that musician.
Only, no, the only ushers that march to that are the ones that are 96 and up.
Oh my God. But see, I was an usher. I was an usher. I still know my tension, face the roster. I know all of that. I know all my signs. This
You
is
was
for
on the Usher
fans.
barbershop chart, huh?
Huh?
You was on the old school Usher barbershop chart. Remember when you
What?
used to go to the barbershop and they had all the poses? You was on the Usher barbershop chart, huh? You was
I should
which
have pulled out. I still got my usher book. Hello. We had usher manuals
now
that taught you how to usher. Oh, there go Perkins.
look, do you pray like this or do you pray like this?
Like this. This is the correct
You
way
do the
in the
folk.
book. Not
When
like this,
well
like
no
you
when
did. It's
no
like
when you
this.
when you old, you can't do that no more. So you got to do this. They getting ready. They get ready for the Lord.
Oh man. Okay, Pastor Perkins is here. Let's see if we can add him in. He always driving. There he is.
Hey,
Hey,
what's up?
hey, hey, what's
What's
going on,
going on?
Godfather?
Lou, you the man, Reverend Dr. Lewis, the new preacher. Hey, I can license
Don't
you.
start that
I can
rumor.
license
Hey,
you.
don't you start that rumor.
I can license you if you want me to. All in one day.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Miss C
sir.
Productions, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Pastor Perkins?
I am cool. It's interesting. I'm just coming from a funeral, and I just wanted to share what you were talking about the pastor not completing the job. And because I am a pastor, I can talk about it. And because I have directed some funerals, I can talk about it. Um, it's almost like you were good enough to do what had to be done in the mic, but when there's no mic and I got to mess up my good shoes, I can't do that. You know, I can't get my Ferragamos or my Gucci's dirty because I gotta step in the grass to give these final words. And the
Right.
cold part about it is the committal is like the shortest part of the whole day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hell, half of the time I make up words and say my own stuff and say the stuff that I know people want to hear. In the general resurrection, we know the dead in Christ shall rise. John, while on the island of Patmos, had a vision. Write these words, blessed are the dead that die in the Lord. Y'all try to
Absolutely.
say, hey, you're in the hands of the director. So it's not like it's pulling teeth, but for some odd reason, the pastor feels like some pastors feel like after they preach, they've got the white envelope that they're done. And the type of pastor I try to be is that if I know that I'm coming to the funeral, matter of fact, I've gone to funerals where I wasn't even on program, but say for instance it was my member. I'm rolling to the cemetery just because
Right.
I want them to know that although I wasn't on program, I still was there because that's my job as the pastor. Because who gonna help them get through it after the funeral is over? The pastor. I'm the watchman over their soul. So it's my responsibility. And us pastors know we do stuff. We have to do stuff we don't always do. But my thing is how to spend the extra 10 minutes riding a hearse that you ain't gotta drive
What you
and to
saying?
go in to go in and give words. I mean,
Yo, your Go
huh,
phone is breaking up.
man, I'm on I'm on 680, and due to the words that I want to say when I speak in
He,
tongues,
he, had a,
I
he had a
can't say
1986
on
Porsche in his car phone. Nigga, this ain't
on this
Magnum
in
PI.
this
Get an
in this
updated phone.
on this live broadcast with Reverend Dr. Lou. I'm gonna let that be said when we go to take me out to the ball game and say
Hey,
those
hey,
things.
we going to the game next month. We got to.
It's all good, but
It's
no,
on.
it's a valid point. When my father died, it was good to look over and see my pastor standing next to me. When my brother died, it was good to know that it was somebody there as an overseer to see you. I mean, to
Right.
complete it. It just meant something. So I think that most pastors, when they take the day off, they just need to understand it's gonna be the whole day. In
Well,
most funerals, it's not just from 11 to 1. Man, it takes up pretty much your whole day.
and the other
Yeah.
part is it's the no-name Negroes that don't want to show up to the church. No, no, for real, because it's like nigga, don't nobody know you. You need to go to the damn to the cemetery so somebody know who you are. Because all the bishops and pastors, all the big ones, they show up to the funeral. I mean, they show up to the cemetery. I mean,
Well, I'll also say this, that every family, everybody say, I don't want to go to church. I don't want to go to church. I don't need a pastor. But when you die, you want to have your service at a church, and you want a preacher to come. Don't just throw up anybody up there to do your service, man. They don't know how to manage a service. I've been to some funerals where the cat, I guess he didn't want to preach, or he was scared to preach. So he had like 20 people give up and give comments. I'm like, and this is when I was directing the funeral. And I was like, this dude, look, we've been here long enough. This service is taking too long. 20 people don't need to get up and have comments, and each person is getting 5 and 7 minutes. Oh man.
right.
Wow.
And then when they got me doing the committal, I'm like, I feel like, man, you letting your grandma go to hell having me do the committal. I mean, I know she already made it, but you don't know what you're doing. No, but
no, it just shows it's more kudos and credit to the establishment that you work for, because you prepared to do anything.
Absolutely.
That's all that is, and
Absolutely.
and when a person has paid you, and this is the thing, when a person has paid you for their services, you are indebted to do your job until you completed the job. Unfortunately, the pastor feels like their job is complete after they preach, which is not the case. Your job is complete when they put them in the ground, or when they put them on the rollers. I ain't gonna say you gotta wait to see them get buried.
And the Pastor Wheelock's point, if you don't want to go to the church, do it at the cemetery. I mean, do it at. If you don't want to go to the cemetery, you can do it at the church.
We have some comments.
Yes,
we have Pastor Wheelock said you can do the committal at the church.
Absolutely.
We have Pastor David Evans say Catholic funerals are 45 minutes, which I love.
Yeah, you just don't know when to stand up and sit down.
And Pastor Wheelock says, Pastor Wheelock says, I only allow 5 people to make remarks and surprise solos.
Hey, here's a question for y'all. Catholic funeral, why is the A and B selection Ave Maria? How you gonna sing it to me in English and Spanish? I know Spanish. That's the same damn song. You can't give me like Going Up Yonder and Take Me to the King?
No, not Take Me to the King. I'm tired of that song.
I am too, but if you're gonna sing me Ave Maria in 3 different languages, hell, you might as well sing something I know. At least then I know when to get up and stand up and sit down and kneel, roll over, and do whatever else I need to do in the Catholic Church.
We were scared when my son, I took my son to his friend's when his friend passed away, and it was at a Catholic church. It was at a Catholic church, and June didn't know what to do. Y'all godson didn't know what to do when they was like kneeling, because they pulled out that thing and got down. He was like,
yeah, I can't get up no more.
Oh man, heck.
And why we all got to drink from the same cup? I don't like backwash like that.
Ooh, they're not doing that no more. It's COVID.
It's not safe. Yes,
they wipe.
Pastor Demetrius Edwards said the king already took them.
Maybe he did. Look, maybe he did. Maybe he did.
But yeah, so, I don't know.
Well, you know what? Pastor Evans said that a Catholic service is only 45 minutes, but hell, the graveside service is 2 hours and 38 minutes.
What?
Because he got to spray the water over them and throw the water bottle at them.
Okay.
And everybody got to lay flowers.
Question. So, we got one pastor on here. Well, we got 2 pastors on here now. I'm just playing. We got
you got ordained?
So what do So y'all know I stream a lot of funerals, right? And why is it that the funerals don't start on time? I mean, is it the pastor's job to tell the families, if you're going to have this service here, it needs to start on time? Is it the funeral home's job, or should I start charging extra fees when that funeral don't start at 11 o'clock?
Here's what happens, and I can only speak from my standpoint. When you have somebody who passes away, and the immediate family takes 45 minutes to get there, then you can't start on time. See, when mama dies and husband is already gone, and the kids show up at 11:43, we can't start. Or when one of the siblings doesn't show up because they 15 minutes away, but they in Concord, we can't start on time.
Well, Lou, I think I just left a funeral, and I'm gonna give a major shout out to anybody that's watching. Not just because my mom is on staff at this church, but the Center of Praise Church in Sacramento, Bishop Parnell Lovelace. My mom is on staff. She's over funerals, bereavement. She's almost like the event coordinator. They call her Pastor Coleman. They 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 did this service today not with 5 stars, 7 stars, no joke. And they had that thing running so tight where the whole family was there at least 30 minutes before the start.
See,
And this was a young lady who grew up in Oakland, and the funeral was in Sacramento. And when I tell you, I think we started at 11:02. Matter of fact, no, probably we started early because it took 3 minutes to walk down the doggone aisle. So we probably started about 11:01. Because when I finally sat in my chair, it was 11:04. But that thing ran crisp, and it was because of the excellence of the church and the directors. And at the end of the day, the directors in the church, you can be prompt with your time and be efficient, but it's one of those things. It happens. The excellency starts not at the funeral, but it starts before the funeral. With communication. It starts with Lou's job. With Lou telling the family, "This is how we rolling. This is how it's gonna go. Now y'all can test me if you want to, but if you ain't here at a certain time, I don't care if Jesus ain't there. We starting at 11 o'clock. Bottom line. And then if you got somebody, a church that's rolling with the same spirit of excellence, they ain't gonna wait on nobody. They go keep it pushing because you told them ahead of time. Well, my auntie getting her last hair braiding. She getting singles. Well, she should have did that a week ago. We can't help that. Or she getting her last sewing, so we can't help that. Nah, man, we gotta start on time because people's time is precious, especially if you're dealing with a ministry where people have volunteered from their jobs to take off and to make sure that you got greeters at the door. You got people standing to greet you, people to tell you where you need to go. Can't play with people's time because it's a whole staff that's involved.
It is.
And most churches, they well, we just go wait on such and such. No, man, you knew 7 days when the funeral was gonna be. But then if we be hard, they trying to be to this, they trying to be to that. But if we were at the other color place, you would do everything they told you to do, and you would give no back mouth, no nothing. But it's always when we at our church with our culture that we want to hook up about everything. Man, be on time. Because when you ain't on time, you lying.
Why
have a program if you ain't gonna be on time? You shouldn't have put a time.
That's right.
Shouldn't put a time.
When we were in the heart of the pandemic, when the pandemic first started, you could have no more than 10 people at a funeral.
Right.
You all had to be there on time.
That's right.
So, Carla, if you were waiting on Bree, if Bree was like, "Mom, I'm coming across the bridge," if y'all went in the church before Bree got there, if y'all went in Foucher's before she got there, technically we were not supposed to let her in. Wow. But if the service starts at 11 and you had 1 hour, because remember COVID rules were strict when it first started. If it was from 11 to 12 and Bree got there at 11:15, you guys only had 45 minutes, period, because we had to get to the cemetery and to Perch Point and Bishop Valentine and the rest of them. It does start with us when the family gets there, when we have either spoken to the next of kin or we see the next of kin there. That's when you start, okay, listen, next of kin is here. The next of kin is here. Don't worry about grandson and everybody else. The next of kin, if it's the wife or the husband, they are here. Ma'am, sir, now that you're here, we want to start getting everybody lined up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's 10:58 and they say, hey, my nephew is parking. Okay, we'll wait because by the time he parks and comes around, okay, fine. But make sure that he's parking. Don't tell me that he's parking and he's still on the freeway.
Right.
If he's parking and we see him walking around the corner, okay. But by the time he walks in, I want everybody to already be lined up.
But what about this one right here? After we got past the time, you have a designated area for family only.
Right. Yep.
Only, but you got people who themselves to be refuse to move. I ain't talking about what I had. Y'all both was at my brother's funeral. It took us 30 minutes, 20 minutes to get seated simply because we had people
Yep.
talking about they were family and
Yep.
they were excuse me.
Bless you.
Yes, like, man, come
Bless
on. You know whether or not you in the family. You ain't talked to the family in 20 years, but you want to make sure you got a good seat. And let me know I know the family. Well, that's my cousin, mama's son, brother, friend from around the corner that I used to go to the church and we sung in the choir together 20 years ago. No, man. It messes up the flow for the director trying to bring the family in because everybody want to say they family. I ain't been to the hospital. I ain't been to see nobody, but we family.
And
That irks my nerves.
I want to touch on that. I really want to touch on that. That COVID sneeze.
Let's go. Oh,
Hey,
you gonna
hey,
get it for
I want
saying that?
who said that? Who said that?
Reverend Timothy Webster.
Let me tell Timothy Webster something, bro. The reason I ain't gonna play with that because I had COVID and I was down 12 days. And if you ain't never had it, don't even speak to it. But if you want to speak to it, you can see me and we can holler
Hey.
about it. I ain't gonna play with that. I don't play with COVID, bro. Don't even come at me like that. Next.
let me speak on bringing the family in. Okay, and I want to be clear to the family. Everybody cannot sit on the aisle. So what I mean by that is, if you don't want to process in, move your ass over to the end so that when we process in, the family can sit down. They don't need to be climbing over you and taking an extra 5 minutes to get seated because you have to have an aisle seat. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You ain't on nobody's walker. You ain't on nobody's cane. Hell, you in your damn 30s. You don't have no little bad kids with you. None of that. Move your tail down. Move down to the end and let the family seat sit. Because what we're trying to do things decent and in order. We want it to look right. I don't want people going around, jumping over you, etc. None of that. Just do us all a favor and move down, please, and thank you.
Right. Yep, that's right. Every preacher can't sit in the pulpit, sit in the audience. If that's the only place left, that's what Bishop Valentine is saying. And then families, if y'all need help getting the order of services done,
Oh
the
my God.
obituary done, and the page order for your obituaries, maybe ask the funeral home, the church. I
Right.
mean, ask
Right. We're all here
somebody
to help. We are all
for
here to help.
assistance because I have seen, and Pastor Wheelock, if he is still on here, he can attest to that. But I've seen some things, and not just at that funeral, but some other funerals too, where, and then pick out the right pictures. That's the other thing. There was a lady, she was probably about, no, it was a guy. I'll take that back. It was a guy. He was probably like 92 years old. But the picture that was on the front of the obituary, he was like 20. Like, who is this? Am I at the right? Okay, let's see. Walking in late, want to talk to the pulpit.
Oh,
Why? And
put
then Sister Evangelist Angela said that's her ministry. And I think more churches need to have bereavement ministry.
Yes.
oh boy,
Yes.
yes,
Bereavement
Yes.
ministry is, and it's
absolutely,
not trustee men, not them. Bereavement ministry
yes.
needs to
Can
be
I
a
speak
Yes.
on that?
ministry by itself.
Yes. It
Can I
does.
speak on that?
Absolutely. Yes. Please.
My
Please.
mother, Dr. Lavetta J. Coleman, has a position in her church that most Baptist churches couldn't handle. My mom is a member of the Center of Praise Ministries in Sacramento, and they call her Pastor Coleman. Her specific ministry is to make sure that funerals are done decent and in order. Funeral, weddings, baby dedication. And when I tell you that this church was on 7-star status, that thing ran like a machine. From the time you stepped on the campus to you stepped off the campus, from the time the service was over to going to the fellowship hall, it was all 7-star. And that's all her ministry is. That's all she does. Her job is to make sure funerals run smoothly at that church.
Mhm.
Every church. The bereavement ministry is not you taking a bucket of chicken from Safeway and dropping it off
So is
one
it?
night,
So,
and the
so
men's
is it?
ministry takes some the other night, and the women's ministry takes some the other night. Bereavement ministry walked from the time that this young lady passed. My mother was in contact with the husband, and from in contact with the husband to the funeral director, she has been stepping hand in hand with him to the point that even tomorrow he'll get a phone call from the church seeing how they doing because the ministry doesn't stop after the funeral. They
That's
No.
when the
continue.
ministry really starts,
It really
after the
begins.
funeral. Mhm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And if you can have a men's ministry, you can have a women's ministry, if you can have a recovering ministry, you can have this ministry. Please, every church needs to have at least two ministries, a bereavement ministry and a grieving ministry. How the hell do I deal with the death of a loved one and I gotta go see a white man to get help? Why I can't get the help in my own church? Why?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. No, you're
Exactly.
absolutely right.
And you know
Exactly.
somebody gonna die in your church every year. So why not have a grieving ministry? And if
Or
you don't like the word grieving, call it, healing ministry. From hurting to healing. Something. But you need the ministry.
Or the
Uh,
after effect.
something. Something.
Yeah.
Something. Because people need to know, how do I deal with the loved one being gone?
I
That's
agree with you because Kaiser, their grievance department, they literally just stopped sending me literature to read about grieving. I haven't gotten that from none of us.
no man. You
And the
ain't.
guy who was calling me, I feel really bad for him because he's a priest. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. You're a priest. He
Right.
wasn't saying stuff that was helping me. And I just kind of felt bad, but he stopped calling me because he said, if you don't want to continue these calls, just let me know. And I said, yeah, I have a lot of pastor friends. So, I appreciate you. But the literature that they sent me was very
It's
helpful. Our churches need that type of stuff
absolutely.
for our people.
after the funeral. And
And
that's
the grieving the grieving process doesn't start when somebody dies. For
Right.
right.
people like you, Carla, and Perk, who have watched a loved one go. I mean, it's one thing when you find somebody get shot or heart attack, but when you have somebody who is sick and you are there, and I mean right there, I mean right there,
Mhm.
watching them day by day start to go,
Yeah.
there is a part of you, whether you know it or not, that is grieving then because
Mhm.
you
Right.
know what's coming.
Right.
Right.
You know it's imminent. It may not be tomorrow,
Right.
might be 3 months from now,
Right.
but you know since you've been there, it's starting to go this way, and it's going faster than it was before.
Yep.
You know, it was baby steps at first, and it's like, okay, well, they stuck right here, and now it's like, nah, it's like hand wrestling, you know, arm wrestling. You see it, and it's like, okay, that starts then. If they could start talking to somebody then, or just know, okay, this person is
Right.
going to be here for me to talk to when this time comes. Hell, I might start talking to them 2 months beforehand. But you get hit with all of this, and then it's like, oh, go talk to him. Who are you?
You
Can
know,
you relate to what I'm going
Lou,
through?
Lou, to be honest with you though, we when we hear certain words, we immediately pull up our defense mechanism.
Correct.
One of the things I'm writing my dissertation on when I receive my earned doctorate. My dissertation will be on the Black African American Church stuck in captivity based upon terminology because of things we say has us still in captivity. And most black people, when we hear the word grieving, we immediately think that it's going to be sad, it's going to be morbid, I'm going to be crying, it's going to be negative. But sometimes you have to, and I'm saying this because when my brother passed away, me and my mother was so upset that no church had a grieving ministry that we started our own.
Right. I
We
remember.
started our own, thank the Lord to this day, it's still going twice a month, every other Saturday. Even if it's only 4 or 5 people, my mom still keeps it going strong.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we learned is that we got asked to do a class for a couple of these conventions, and we were during the pandemic. Um, we were on Zoom, and it was a class on grieving, right? I mean, yeah, a class on grieving. And so I came on the Zoom and said, thank you all for sharing with us this morning. We'll start the class on grieving in 10 minutes. Man, when I said grieving, I had 35 people waiting in my class. When I said grieving, it dropped to 15
Damn.
because I said grieving. And I immediately told my mom, we got to change this name because when we hear grieving, it's almost the same response we hear about getting life insurance. The same
Mhm.
response. And
Yeah.
so I said, you know what? We going to call it either um, hurting to healing, or we going to call it the lifters class. Because that's what we're trying to do, lift you out of your grief. And once we changed the name, more people started coming. We did a 2-day workshop in Fresno at Saints Rest Church. DJ Klein is the pastor. We did our first ever grieving conference. The first day, 25 people showed up, and because they thought it was going to be morbid, sad, man, we had a good time in there. People were getting healed, people were being delivered. The next night, we had 50 people show up because of what they thought it was going to be. It ended up being something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
I would highly recommend every church, every pastor needs to invest and look into doing what can they do to have a grieving ministry and a bereavement ministry because it'll help you. And then here it is. At the end of the day, what are we called to do? We're called to do outreach. That's another way of outreach. That's
Absolutely.
another way of evangelism. Because what I mean, it does, as you said, it doesn't start really. Um, it's not over when the funeral is over. That's where it really begins.
Yep.
That's
Right.
when the people really need help. And in the words of Harry Ford, if you're not careful and if you ain't got Jesus, death will kill you. Just that
Ooh.
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
that's Harry Ford that said that. He got up, you
Wow.
know, Harry Ford got a strong mind.
Yeah, he
And he,
does. He
he was
does.
at a funeral, and man, that dude
Wow.
just got up and said, if you don't have Jesus, death will kill you, and sat down.
And it
And
will.
just,
Wow.
It will
That's
strike
deep.
you down.
That is deep.
Because what
yeah,
do you have to lean on? Who do you have to lean on?
Yeah.
nothing.
You know, before you got on, Perk, Carla and I and so many others talk about how, oh, Perk, you know, if you need me, I'll be here for you. Look, I
Right,
can't
right,
find you, dog. I can't even throw a rock at you.
Right.
So who am I supposed to lean on?
And once again, look, and that's bad terminology, because here it is. If you need me, call me. Hell, you know they gonna need you. They
Right.
gotta deal with first birthdays. Gotta deal with first. Listen, when my brother died, I never knew. I said, well, another holiday come, I'm gonna lose my mind. Memorial Day, 4th of July, this day, that day. I was like, God dog, I never knew how many holidays it was, because we celebrated everything. It was always
Yep.
a reason for us to get together. But now that the seat is empty, when it was time for us to come together, like, man, I don't want to see another holiday. I don't want to see
Hey,
another Christmas.
you know,
And that's the
when
reality of it.
when Carla and I were talking about that, like you said, people talk, oh, the birthday or the anniversary of their death. I'm like, depending on the relationship you have with the person, you might be driving down the street and see somebody trip and fall and get ready to call that person, and like, damn, they're not even
Yeah,
here. And
not
it'll
even
tear
here.
you up. It'll tear you up,
Yes,
you know.
yes, it will. Yeah, and that's exactly why we need those ministries in place. Because, and if anybody's listening that has just had a loved one die, my mother, Dr. Lavetta Coleman, does a lifters class every two weeks, every Saturday, like about 2 o'clock. She's on Facebook, Lavetta J. Coleman. Just lift her up, look her up, send her a direct message, say you want to be involved, and you'll get on the email list. And I promise you, that's that's gonna do the same thing.
She need to
It
lift
means
up
that
your phone
you're
because it's
not grieving
dying.
by yourself. I'm on the back roads, bro. Why
Okay,
you always
okay,
on
all
my
right, all
phone,
right.
man?
I was just making sure.
Why
I
you
don't
want
want
this
Jason.
smoke, man?
Listen, I don't want to jump. I don't want Jason to jump out. Jason or Freddie to jump out the cuts and do something to you, and then we can't
Look,
even get you.
I'm on highway 13. You know how it is. We on 13 in the
Up there
country.
chopped up. Up there getting all
Oh,
choppy.
man.
Sound like Harry Ford.
Oh,
Yeah, I said it. I don't care. I love
That's
him.
my
That's my
dog.
dog.
That's my
That's my
dog.
dog. I love him.
hey, you might be watching.
Hey,
Pastor
I love
Ford,
you.
No,
I love
that's
you. I love you,
that's
Pastor
not
Ford. You
me.
know I love you.
Pastor Ford, if you watching, that's him, not me.
Pastor
that's my
Ford, she told
dude,
me to
man.
say it. Praise the
No, I
Lord.
didn't. He know.
Hey, but what about the program? We was talking about that. What about putting people on programs that we know can't sing?
Or that's gonna sing with some headphones in to a song that only they can hear.
Oh man.
That happened to me. Remember, Lewis? We did that funeral and the person had the headphones in and they was singing and she was like,
Yeah. Sound like she was having a hurting orgasm. What the hell wrong with you? Take them headphones off. You know you can't sing and you can't hear yourself sing, so you just, man.
Oh man. Oh
What
man.
about when people get up and give comments and they say, and I did this, and I did that, and I like, I thought you were supposed to get up there and be encouraging the family, and all you doing is talking about
Wow.
yourself.
Well,
It's not your platform, man.
well, baby. You know, I know I'm 87 and I lost my 102-year-old mother last week, so I know how you feel. No, you don't. The woman in the casket is 43 years old. Her kids are 20. How the hell you know how she feels? You was just as old as your mama. You don't know how she feels. Go sit down.
Man, look, I'm gonna sign off because it's getting dark. Harry will tell me to go run behind me in a minute, so I want y'all to see my man back here in the woods.
All right. Hey, you
All
better be
right.
able to
You
call.
be safe,
Look,
Perkins.
you better be able to call somebody.
Hey, are you gonna answer if I call Lou?
I'll
No,
answer. I ain't coming to get you.
you gonna get his voicemail.
Hey, Todd and I'll come get you. Todd and I'll come get you.
Shout out to Todd, who doing very well now.
Hey, Price could come get you. He just have to snort the whole way.
Oh,
Oh, he
Maybe you
might
can
be
teach him how to preach.
watching. Be nice. Be nice. He might be
what's
watching.
wrong with you, Lou? What's wrong?
Hey,
You know Lewis don't care. You know
He
Lewis
does not
don't
care.
care.
Not
No
at all.
filter.
None whatsoever.
hey,
None.
I'm not using no profanity, so I'm good.
no more, so it's okay.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
act safe. I think
But
it's
for
because he went to church the last couple of Sundays.
Oh, bless the
That's
Lord.
probably
You know,
what
I
did
told
it. And
God
then
to
I'm
you
do.
in.
know he's on trial for deacon.
Oh, Deacon Lou.
Never,
Oh.
never.
Oh. Did you do it 211 or 187? What you on
Hey,
trial for?
you know, you know when they baptized me back in '95, the water jumped out.
I'm going on that note. Y'all be good.
Love you, boy.
Bye.
Most deaf.
Terrible.
Oh man,
See,
y'all awful.
y'all bring out the worst in me when everyone else around me only see the best in me.
You are awful. You got anything else to say to the people, Mr. Lewis?
Um,
I mean, Deacon Lewis.
um, make sure y'all support your local businesses. Lois the Pie Queen, 60th and Adeline. Corey, ask for Corey Jackson. Tell him Mr. Lewis sent you. Check out the ratios. San Leandro. Tell him Mr. Lewis sent you. Check out John George. Tell him Carla sent you. Well, they're not black owned, but there's a lot of black people in there.
Really? And he wants y'all to go to Lois the Pie Queen so y'all can see his picture on the wall.
Picture's not on the wall. I took it off.
No, it's on there. His wall, he's on the wall
But
of
no,
fame. That's why he's trying to send y'all there.
no. There's this place there's this place called Sugar Sweet on Seminary, right next to the church where you behind Mills College.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a
Pastor
spot called
Polk's church.
yeah,
Okay.
Pastor Polk's church. There's
Okay.
a spot called Sugar Sweet. I want y'all to check it out. It's a very good place, really good. They got a lot of snacks, cookies. They close around 4 o'clock, so you might be at work. To those who work, but if you if you get a chance, go by there. But yeah, make sure even if you don't check out the ratios, and some of y'all know what it is because y'all like to drink. Check out Lois the Pie Queen. Best food ever, best breakfast food. Really good. You'll get full.
Reggie Jackson special.
Yeah,
That's me.
you get the Reggie Jackson special. Anything else you got to say? Oh, and please, I'm not saying no names because that's not important. Pay my girl. Pay my girl. Because if you don't, I promise you, at the end of the year, I will say your name. I'm not Beyonce. I'm not Destiny's Child, but I will say your name on air and tell how much you owe. I promise you. I don't want to do that, and I probably won't. But just take care of my woman. You know, she loves y'all. She doing what she's doing for the Lord. She's trying to find the Lord herself. So, you know.
Really, I'm trying to find.
Oh, you weren't supposed to hear that part. You weren't supposed to hear that. Yeah,
Mhm.
come on. Let's be nice. Try it. Any you got anything, Miss Carla?
No, just a reminder, look for our announcement for our next show because like I said, my sister will be our special guest and she has an awesome testimony, awesome story. Make sure you bring your tissue.
My big sister.
Your big sister.
My big sister Teresa.
Okay. She's gonna be on. She's gonna be our special guest the next time we come on. I don't know the actual date yet, but look for the announcement because that's gonna be a very nice live conversation.
And we really should try to all of us, let's come together and let's make sure that we do get grief counseling, bereavement counseling, and any other type counseling that we need in our churches, because we do need these resources. They are important. Again, I'm going to reiterate, it is, and I don't care who it is. I don't care if they passed away last week, last month, they're getting ready to pass 50 years ago. It is okay not to be okay. It's all right. I promise you it is.
I agree.
It's okay not to be okay. And if you need help, get help.
Right. The help is there. And hopefully our churches can, and I'm thinking about working on something myself. connecting with someone
Mhm.
because heck, I'm still grieving the loss of my mom, but I'm grieving it in a different way. And it's
Right.
kind of scary because I'm doing it, I'm grieving in a different type of way. And it's kind of tripping me out because sometimes I be going off. My kids be like, okay,
Right.
get them little calls from those weird people. Like I got a call today from a fake Amazon talking about some charges, and I'm like, oh, y'all don't want to talk to me because I'm about to let y'all have it. I be yelling at the top of my voice at people, and my kids be like, oh my god, like something's wrong with her. She's
Um,
crazy.
I want to say something that needs to be said, and I'm actually going to be serious for a half a second. To those of you who are currently caregivers, and to those of you, including Miss Carla, who have been caregivers in the past for a relative of yours, while you are grieving, in mourning, not being okay, etc., I want you to know that while you are in this state, please remember that when the opportunity arose, you did everything that you could to help whoever it was that you were helping. In sports, we say you left it all on the field. That means that you could not have given any more than what you did. Whether you won or lost, you gave everything. It won't bring your loved one back, and I know that, but I want you to know that they would be proud of you. The Lord is proud of you, and know that you did everything that you could. And I hope that that does make you feel a little bit better at some point. You may want to change one or two things that you did, but overall, you know that you did everything you could. Doesn't matter what anybody else says, you know it. And the person that you're taking care of, if they could say it, they would tell you. And maybe some of them did before they passed away. Take solace in that because it matters. It really does. And just know that somebody else in your shoes who didn't do that feels 10 times worse than you do, and they will never feel any any joy, any pleasure, because they can't do anything to change it. They can never do anything to change it. You did everything you could, and I hope that on some nights when you remember that, you can sleep well.
Yep, I agree. That was good. And just kind of, I don't know, do something to change, like I do it to try to do stuff to change, my thinking or whatever. It's kind of hard for me because I'm still in the house where she
Right,
passed. I'm
right.
now in her old room. Um, and this is the same room that her husband, my pops, he passed in this room. So I'm just like, ah. So you got to do something, you know, fun, right? And y'all probably like, why is she saying that? Y'all know what this is? You know what this is, Rasan?
Look like a knife.
This is not a knife. Do you know what this is?
Joystick.
Right. For what?
Atari.
That's right. I got a Atari 2600
No,
hooked up
she don't, y'all. She got the
to
original Atari. She still got her Atari
the
from
original Atari
1976.
2600 plugged to my flat screen TV. Hello.
And she still got the original one. That's she didn't buy that one just now. She
Yeah,
had that one in 1974.
whatever. It was in 1974. But you got to do something, and that's what I do, And then I have my countercade. Y'all can't see them, but I have a Miss Pac-Man countercade and I have a Pac-Man countercade, do little stuff like that. Um, I got PlayStation 1 over here, got little stuff. I like gaming, so not my son's kind of gaming because all this doing this or whatever. This is me.
She play poker in the sanctuary after church on Sunday.
What?
I said she played poker in the sanctuary after church on Sunday.
No way. No. No. I work with Miss Pac-Man. I can't stand you. Oh my God, that's what you call people who talk a lot.
Ooh.
Bishop. Got me
Yeah, he
weak.
worked with Miss Pac-Man, huh?
Oh my God. When Rhonda go back and watch this, she is going to holler. She missed it tonight because she's in choir rehearsal. Yes, an inside joke.
She's in choir rehearsal.
Rhonda's in choir rehearsal right now.
Ah,
Yeah, at her church.
which one?
How you know what church she go to? You play too much. Don't start no fight on here.
I'm I'm just asking a question.
All right. But anyway, so y'all know Mr. Lewis, this is my best friend. And he's about to be mad at me when I say this. You better not click off. You better not.
As long as it don't have nothing to do. Okay, no, go ahead.
You
Go ahead.
better not click off.
As long as it don't have nothing to do with sports, I'm okay.
It don't have nothing to do with sports.
Okay. All right.
So, Mr. Lewis is my best friend, and I appreciate him. He's my son's godfather. He has been there for my son when I was working, and he helped my son with his Spanish 1 and his Spanish 2 homework. I appreciate him so much. But on a serious note, Mr. Lewis is good folks. And people be like, how's your best friend? And this is my best friend. He has been there for me. He has been there for me through it all. Hey, cousin. He has been there for me through it all. When I had my stroke, he drove me to the hospital. When I had to have surgery, he took me to the hospital. More than one time, huh? Knee pain. Took me to the hospital.
Got cussed out for the first one. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Wow. My stroke story.
Yeah.
But he's always been there. I remember being down in LA and nobody would get medication for my mom. He went from Hayward to Walnut Creek to San Francisco, brought my mom her medicine, and went back to Hayward. That's what a real friend does, that type of stuff. And remember, she left her bag. Was it a bag or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's always been there for us, not just for me, but for me and my kids. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you for everything that you do. Yeah. We got much love for you out here in San Francisco.
Have y'all ever got cussed out by somebody like in the middle of them having a stroke? Not like after. You cussed out in the middle, like while the girl is strong. She's strong. You can have a stroke and cuss somebody out and they can understand you. Can't make this stuff up. I'm the victim.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm the victim here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Great is my reward in heaven. Praise God.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And I'll be a deacon the day you become an evangelist. How about that?
Oh, no. Well, I evangelize every day. I'm always telling somebody about my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Hallelujah. Every day. I share the word of God every day with somebody.
Do you watch? You don't watch Seinfeld, do you?
No, I don't.
George Costanza said it's not a lie if you believe it. So you keep telling everybody that. It's not a lie.
I do share the word of God with people every day. I do.
In between 2 11s. Okay.
Really? I know you.
In between 2 11s.
I know you ain't talking. He's getting ordained at Shiloh Baptist Church.
Yeah, by Pastor Davis.
Or you know what, Bishop Valentine, why don't you talk to him? He could probably come be a deacon at your church. And he knows how to sing too.
Oh, no.
He still got his choir robe in the closet. What Bree say? Y'all know Sister Kyla.
You said my choir robe is where?
Your choir robe. It's
It's
in your
where?
closet.
Yeah, right next to some of R. Kelly's victims. Hey, he put them in there, not me. I love Robert. You know, if we had closed caption on here, Robert still couldn't read it.
God, I can't stand you.
I'm just saying. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. But no,
Oh,
I'm no deacon here. No deacon here.
now he's not Bishop Valentine. He's not. He failed the test. He can't be a deacon. He failed the test. He can't be a deacon. He failed the test.
Well, the problem is
He couldn't answer. He couldn't name the 12 disciples. So he flunked the test.
yeah, they asked me about the 12 disciples. I started naming A's players, so it was like, oh, yeah, like this ain't gonna work. They don't have church at the Coliseum, so I had to pick and choose.
This is the man who goes to the A's game in a 3-piece suit.
Hey,
with a tie on.
Hey, no, most beautiful woman I ever saw in my life, baseball. And I'm always look good for her. Well, I'm look good for sports too. So.
Well, we want to thank y'all for joining us tonight.
Sure do.
Remember, if you looking at a church and they got like 800, 900 views, but it's like 2-3 comments and ain't nobody sharing it, guess what? It's fake views. All right. Don't forget to reach out to Sheila Tyson or Davina Brown if you need life insurance. All right. And quit telling people that you are there for them. Just call me. I'm here for you. Whatever you need, just call me. I'm here for you. Quit telling people that and call them. Okay.
Right.
Don't make stuff up. All right. And yeah, just be real to your friends. Be true to your friends. You know, my circle has gotten like this small over the past year.
Mm-hmm.
My feelings is getting a little better. My feelings have been hurt, but it's, I'm coming around. But yeah, so we'll see you guys next time when we have my sister on as a special guest. I cannot wait. We're gonna figure out a date. You said no new friends. Nope.
Right. And I'm gonna tell y'all, like I tell families at the graveside at the end of the service, when you see somebody, hug them. Tell them that you love them. And don't say it like you mean it. I want you to do like you do when you pray. You do it because you mean it. God be with all of y'all.